Alright, it looks like we're back. Can you guys, am I coming through now okay? It looks like YouTube rolled out some new live options. Everything I was doing before has actually changed now. So I think they might have did something like that. Hey Tom with the 5, thanks very much man, I appreciate it. Wouldn't say I'm the best. I'm just addicted like everybody else is. That'll go toward the channel upgrades, stuff like that. Philip, he was in before, and then I don't know, he might have left. I don't know, if he comes back in chat, maybe we'll tell us what happened. Might be at home pretty busy at the moment. Well, congrats, Vigilante. So Vigilante, you guys home or you still at the hospital? Don't they like to usually kick people out once the baby's born after a while real quick? I don't know. Not that good with that stuff. Resin? Hopefully I said that right. Yeah, it's Abe's epoxy. You have A and B, you mix it together, and then you have a 3-hour work time before it hardens. I use it on all my customs and statues and everything. If you want to know more, I did a video on it with Abe's, hopefully. Yeah, Philip, it's going to be all completely repainted. Vigilante, you should be there with the wife and kid while you're watching me. But yeah, get her subbed, get her started sculpting early. She can help you work on stuff. You can get her prepping statues for you in no time. least I got the majority of the pants done now, so hopefully I get the shirt done next week. Or even maybe this weekend, who knows. The Poison Ivy figure, the Sideshow one, pulling it apart's not hard. If you want to sand all the leaves off, yeah, it's a nightmare. It's a lot of work. I mean, it's definitely doable. If you want to sit there and chop all the leaves off and rebuild the skin and stuff. It's a great statue for it. It's just one of those ones that require a lot of stuff. You can't get this stuff in Mexico? You could probably order it if you wanted to try it. I don't know how much it would cost though, probably with shipping and taxes and... I mean, if you can sculpt with your stuff and it cures yours, then I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I just love the epoxy, Vave's epoxy sculpt stuff. I use it on everything. To make a Mary Jane, the way I look at it, any statue that doesn't require chopping, but that's more like building up, you know, like sort of like a naked type statue, like, you know, like for example, the Catwoman premium format with the cloth. If you take that off, it's a basic bare figure and you build onto that. So that's what I'm thinking. Like any statues that don't require a lot of chopping and, you know, your basic bare figure, it works well. But I mean, if like, say if you looked at the latest Black Widow from Sideshow, you know, she's got all that armor and stuff, so if you need to chop all that stuff off, it's more work. It's not that it's not, you could definitely do it. It's just that if you want to sit there and rebuild a whole resin item after chopping, that's where the work lies. But there's anime kits out there, there's Bowen statues, there's DC statues. It all depends on what scale you want to do, the type of look. Do you want the character in an action pose? Do you want the character just standing there? I mean, there's a lot of older statues out there too. C.S. Moore, you know, Claiborne Moore statues, Bowen stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there, really. I mean, Sideshow's got some of those old statues from the Attic Hughes line. You know, like the Rogue, the White Queen, the Black Queen. They're 1/5 scales, basically, but they're still decent. And you could probably get them at a decent price. There's a lot to choose from. It's just a matter of looking around and seeing what you like. I think I mixed up too much Aves today for all this. Philip, I just hunt around. Sometimes you'll find a deal on eBay. Sometimes you'll find a deal on some comic book site. Sometimes I got friends who know somebody that's selling it. I know if you go into some of the Facebook groups, a lot of people sell statues at decent prices. So yeah, it's just a matter of hunting them down. But I think eBay is kind of mostly the place to get them. Amazon has a lot of stuff, but they jacked up the prices. If you can ever hit conventions, sometimes the guys have statues there, comic book stores. I guess it's all about the hunt. Unless anybody in chat knows some good places to get some statues. I used to get a lot of, so you might as well just buy a brand new one. And I remember I was able to find like a damaged statue for half or even less than half for what it came out for. but now I've seen people trying to get retail for damaged stuff. I don't blame them, but oh, in Australia, yeah. See, that's the other problem too, is you'll get hit with all the back tax, I guess, right? Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, if you played a weight game, you might be able to find one at a decent price, but eBay's weird. Sometimes an item is up there, they're cheap, they're everywhere, and then next week all of a sudden they're missing, and then the one or two that's up there is going for crazy prices. But, like I always tell people, if that's the statue you want, and that's going to be a grail for you, then go for it. We'll do the pockets. Go roll this out. Be right back. DC Collections Poison Ivy. I never worked on that one. I mostly stick to 1/4 scale stuff or larger. Just my comfort zone. But I've worked on smaller ones in the past. You should try looking for some Claiborne Moore statues, like the Soulfire, the Aspen. Those are pretty decent statues. They got really good sculpts to them, and they were really big there for a long time. That's if you like the Claiborne Moore, Michael Turner type look. see if we can actually get this going correctly. I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, Raphael, it's getting there, little by little. Hopefully, I can prime this up tomorrow and do a little bit of sanding. Yeah, which Wolverine are you working on again? Going with the old jeans look for him? going with the cowboy look. That's cool. Just Sal's? Sorry, I don't know if I'm saying it right. What do you mean, which pockets to look flush? What are you talking about? Talking about these ones here? I kind of brought those up so they're kind of not perfectly, you know, there. Because like when you look at these, they weren't really connected. These are just kind of like flat on his back. Like so. Hey, what's up, Jefferson? Oh, you gotta bake all your stuff? Well, what I was gonna do, just south, is sand it down a little bit once it kind of cures up. Not too much sanding, but enough to kind of take it down a bit. The only problem with Aves is if I go really thin, it's hard to get like this detail. So what I like to do is sort of like press in deep, and then I can sand it down, and it'll get a little bit thinner. Oh, nice, from scratch. Good for you, man. What scale are you doing? Going with the smaller scale. Well, whenever you're done, make sure you let me show it to me somehow. Send me a message through my website. I'd love to see it. Thanks, just South. Yeah, I've been trying a lot more with sculpting. Really trying new things. Trying to get used to Aves more than ever because it's just easier to kind of get there. I find myself looking at a lot of YouTubers that sculpt, just looking at random things. Alright, then if you do that, Raphael, send me a message through my website with some of your links. I love to see that stuff. Like I said, I'm not on social media, so... Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm addicted to this stuff. I literally just have to work on this stuff every day. That's how much, I love it. Plus doing it full time is also good as well, but just can't go a day without doing something. Like what I'll do is once this cures up, I'll sand some of these pockets down, just a little bit, not crazy. And then if I feel they're too heavy out there, I can put a little Aves around the edges and sort of blend it out. It's just that with Aves, I like to go in sections. And of course, there'll be a lot of putty work too as well. I just got to figure out how the shirt's going to go. Maybe we could start at least put a trim around the top. Yeah, Raphael, even back when I was working full-time as a graphic designer, I'd come home, kick off my shoes, and go right to the art table and just start painting and sculpting. Every night. Get home about 6 o'clock, 5:36. Put on Seinfeld and just start sculpting. That's all I would do. I don't know, I've tried wax, I've tried clays. I just find that Aves works for me. I just enjoy it. I guess I got used to it too, starting with it. Just getting used to it, you know, okay, I gotta get this done in like 2 hours, so I better do it right or get it going. Alright, let's roll this out and see if I can work on the top. Yeah, I think Aves is just like any other medium. Just get used to it. Like if you work in clay and you bake it, and you need to do some extra stuff, you can always try and make a copy of it and then try Aves on top of it. I got a friend who uses Sculpty, bakes it, and then he works with Aves on top of that. So you can always give it a shot. Yeah, it does cure pretty quickly on you, but I guess, you know, I mean, you're sculpting, you know, a whole body, and then you're going to be sculpting outfits, and I can understand why Aves will do that to you. But then you're just adding on to a sculpt that's already done. I guess Aves works better that way. Plus, I couldn't imagine putting Sculpey on something like this and trying to bake the guy. It would be impossible. I'll probably blow him up in the oven. Because I think he is a little bit of hollow. There was a little bit of a hole underneath here. And I'm pretty sure there's some hollowness and it'll probably blow up. So this is probably going to get covered, but let's just do it anyway. I'll have to do the other and touch it up. Yeah, you can use Smooth On for anything you need. If you're going to use their resin, you could fill in a Rotocast kit, no problem. You could you can use their you can use anything on a Rotocast kit. But like, say if this was hollowed and he was paper thin, you could use their resin and you can turn it, and you could make it thicker. Yeah, when I first got into the hobby, before I discovered Aves, guys told me about Super Sculpty, and I tried using that stuff to sculpt, and then I baked it, and yeah, that was not pretty. Yeah, I think this will come together once I get the paint on them. But I think tomorrow, if I could do a really good priming session on it and really clean this up, I'll know where I need to fill in with eaves and do some extra stuff. Maybe add a couple more tears and rips. Sand this down. Work out the front, work out the seams underneath the legs, and then start working on the shirt. Because like if I work on the shirt now and I want to do a tear and I don't have the belt here or here, then I'll have to put it in later. So it's a lot of work to sculpt in sections, sculpt this, and then cover it again anyway, but it's just easier for me that way. Plus I just mixed up so much A's, I might as well waste it all. So what I'll do is I'll put like the belt loops, I'll put a belt loop there, I'll put a belt loop there, and it'll probably still get covered. Yeah, I do commissions, just Sal's, I'm saying that name wrong, I know I am. But on my website, on the contact page, is where I list everything. So as of right now, I'm booked up till fall. But that's kind of where I keep all my information of what's going on. I can only do so much at a time though, that's the problem. So I had to kind of stop with taking on stuff for the year. Yeah, I'll be at Jersey Fest. I'm definitely going Saturday this year, but I am not sure about the rest of the weekend. It might fall on a weekend where I have family stuff. I'm not sure yet. I wanted to go to Wonderfest as well, but I don't think I'll be able to. Alright, there we go. J Sal's. Alright. Yeah, Terrell, YouTube crapped out on everybody. And I think what they did is they did some kind of live stream change. I don't know, so I gotta figure out all the new stuff they did to it. Yeah, I think you have a good time, Raphael. They, yeah, that's the other problem too with going to these shows is, just wanting to spend all the money on this stuff. I try to hold back because I just got too much as it is. But you'll, if you go, you'll probably enjoy the seminars and all that stuff. Those go on all weekend. That's pretty cool. Yeah, they changed something in the Matrix. I'm pretty sure it'll be something where I get hit with more demonetized stuff. Who knows? Starting to look like jeans. Now I can't lay him on his back to do underneath here, so I gotta do that another day. We'll wash these out before these cure up on me. Yeah, I use the red because of a few things. One, it's easier to see, and two, if you go to the Aves website, their Super Saver section, it's always on sale. It's like $10 cheaper, so $10 cheaper, plus I could see it better, and I feel it works, because if you use the natural, it's this color versus this color, and it's hard to see it. But the red seems to work better. I think it's because of the dye that's in it. Whereas the natural, it kind of just you can't really, it just doesn't seem to work that well. I might be crazy, but it just seems it. So if you're looking to pick up Aves, go to the Aves website, and they have a Super Saver section. And most of the, I mean, for the past 4 or 5 years, red is always on sale. So. £4 tub is like 25, maybe a little bit more now since prices have gone up, but every time I order, I get a 4-pound kit of blue. I mean, of the 4-pound kit of the red and the safety solvent 16 ounce. Because I go through it so much. Unless you got a store you can pick up the stuff, but there's one store I know of that carries Aves, but they don't have the red and they don't have like 4-pound kits, so it's just cheaper to get the 4-pound kit. Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime you need more info. has it been about 2 hours since I mixed this up, so it's starting to get pretty stiff and hard now. So it's kind of good to like pull it off an item if you need to kind of spread it. Stainless steel to the gloves. You mean the fins? Is that the one where the fins were broken off and I added copper fins to it? I think it was. It's the only Batman one I remember. Yeah, I think the guy. I think it was my friend who gave it to me, or I forgot who I did it for. The fins were all messed up and broken, so it was just easier to cut some whatchamacallit, some copper metal bars, and just glue them in and then paint it that way. Cause something that thin on like Batman stuff, you're just bound to break it with Aves or resin. So you might as well just use like, some metal pieces to make life easier. Because if A's is sticking off an item this far, you could probably just snap it and break it. But if you put a metal rod that goes into the arm, that sticks out, it'll never break off. Just easier to do it that way. So if you ever get a Batman kit, and you're worried about these fins breaking off, just make metal ones and glue them in, and then you have metal ones that are more durable. Just because you get a kit doesn't mean you have to build it what they give you. You can do whatever you want to it. You want to secure stuff, you want to add new stuff to it, you want to paint them a different way. Just have fun with it. There'll be a lot of times I get kits and there'll be like little pieces here and there in the kit. I'll just throw them out and I'll make better ones, or I'll use metal or whatever. I know they're trying to give you all the pieces to a kit, but just build your own. can't get it from this angle. And I can't lay him down. Well, this has got to be sanded down, around in there. Over here's a mess from casting. They didn't fix any of that. Well, OG is getting dressed now, mostly. Alright, I think that's where we're going to end it for tonight. I'm tapped out. I've been at this all day. Hopefully we could do another stream or two when I do the cloth work after this is all sanded down. It's going to be a little tricky. But hopefully it'll be all primed up and it'll look a little cleaner by then. Alright guys, so thanks for stopping by. Sorry about the whole YouTube hiccup before, but I'll try and get some more stream action maybe either this weekend or next week.